For the past several years in Roxbury and Jamaica Plain, there have been efforts to increase services and opportunities for young people, especially around Hyde Square, Jackson Square, and Eggleston Square. After an ambitious plan for a new recreation center was tabled 2 years ago, young people have been working with a local nonprofit to assess needs and to strategize better ways of serving the community. To tell us about the resulting assessment are the CEO of Urban Edge, Emilio Dorcely, and its Director of Community Engagement, Alia Pacombe. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
I want to start with Emilio. I use the word ambitious, big youth center that people had worked on for many years as a vision, at least. But at the same time, when I went into this assessment in a way, that too looks ambitious, just a big role for young people.
Yeah, it was. But before I get into that, I want to just maybe do a little bit of intro about Urban Edge, and I'll be very brief. But, you know, many folks know Urban Edge as a longstanding nonprofit organization that works in Roxbury and JP primarily. And really, our mission is fairly straightforward. It's really about strengthening communities and families. And we build affordable housing, and then we provide programming to help build wealth and prosperous and vibrant neighborhoods. And part of this work was really tied to that. What we wanted to do is to be able to have a better understanding and to have some data to help us figure out how can we better, along with other youth serving organizations in the community, better provide services to young people and create the opportunities that they needed for them to be able to thrive.
Alia, what was that like, the way you tuned into young people, or maybe allowed the young people to do the tuning in themselves?
Yeah, I think we had a very engaged young people that were part of the assessment. We had our local not youth serving organizations that really helped us recruit 8 to 10 young people that were part of the assessment. They were very engaged, came to every single meeting. All the meetings were done virtually, and a lot of the activities we adapted because of the pandemic to go virtually, but young people continued to come to every meeting and really be engaged. And they were very passionate about getting this assessment done and getting some of this information out in the community.
Right. Okay, I want to come back to Emilio because I know you explained that there's a mission for Urban Edge, which is sort of all embracing, but at the same time, a lot of people think about it in a more concrete way, is, you know, developing properties and managing properties. So some people might be scratching their head saying, what does that have to do with youth services and youth opportunities?
Yes, a lot of people do know Urban Edge because of the affordable housing development. Over the years, Urban Edge has developed well over 1,500 affordable housing units. And in fact, we have 2 current projects that we're working on, one in construction and one that we hope to be in construction sometime next year. And both are in Eggleston. And they're, you know, combined, they will create well over 120 units of affordable housing for low to moderate income residents in the community. But I think that when I think about housing, and this is important, that the work that we do is not just about brick and mortar. It's really about building community. And housing is a cornerstone of building a thriving community. People do need safe, high quality housing in order for them to have a home base where, you know, young people can learn, go to school, have hope for the future, where parents have a safe place where their families can grow, and then they can also plan for the future. So for us, the idea of being able to help support young people is well aligned with the work that we've been doing for well over 40 years.
Alia, this report has a list of concerns among young people. I was surprised to see drugs so high on the list there, but what concern troubled you the most?
Yeah, one of the things that the young people brought up and that came up on the survey was mental health. Mental health was, a shock of the stigma around mental health and young people not wanting to talk about it. But in the survey, we learned that they were open about talking about needing mental health supportive services. And I think now with this generation of youth growing up, it's no longer the stigma. I think we're seeing a lot of people, celebrities and athletes coming forward about some of the mental health challenges that they're facing. And, it's probably causing a lot of young people to be open about concerns about mental health and asking for help and support and saying, this is an issue for young people in our community and we need support around this area as well. And the other,
yes, go
sorry,
ahead, please.
just wanted to add and say, the young people were very, they took pride in their community. I know the gun violence and the drugs also came up as one of the high areas where young people, wanted to pay close attention to and let folks know. But at the same time, they took pride in their community. And you saw that in the survey, how they openly talked about, the importance of the services that is in the community, the pride that they have in their community. So that was important to them as well.
Emilio, mental health and even public safety need a certain infrastructure, safe places where people can go. Where do you see how Urban Edge can help fill that void?
Yeah, that's a great question. And one of the things that we're committed to doing is continuing to work with both the organizations that were part of the advisory group that helped to bring this study together, but also with other youth serving organizations to figure out how can we better connect people to the services that already exist, and then what are the gaps and who's already providing really good services that should be expanded, and how do we work together? Because currently Urban Edge is not a youth service organization. We do currently partner with others to provide summer youth jobs and other programming that is targeted to youth. And so we're not necessarily looking to create new programs ourselves, but we are committed to make sure that we work with others to identify resources and then really work strategically so that people can build their capacity, because the stronger that the youth organizations in our neighborhoods are, I think the better off the young people will be.
Alia, what about the ability of young people to see opportunities in the future? And I remember picking this up once from a young person in Eggleston Square, complaining that I look around, I don't see jobs. Kids have a hard time seeing those opportunities. What about correcting that in some way?
Yeah, I think that ties back to what Emilio just said. A lot of these youth serving agencies offer youth employment, career development. Is just a matter of bridging the gap and getting these young people connected to some of the programs and services that exist. And that was one of the things that came out of the assessment, was young people were saying, we don't know where to go or who to go to. And the youth serving agencies are trying to figure out how to better connect with these young people when they have opportunities like summer employment, after school programmings, finding ways where it's easier for them to access this information.
Emilio, I also noticed in the survey a lot of interest on the part of young people in the arts, kind of creative activities. I know we all can't grow up to be professional creatives, but isn't that an important way to engage young people?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm sure many of you have heard of High Square Task Force, who has a long history of working with young people in the neighborhood around creative arts. One thing I've learned with working with young people, they're like adults. Each young person is very different, and you have to have a variety of different programming available, because different young people will be attracted to different things. There are some young people, the chosen outlet for them is going to be the arts and other creative opportunities. For others, it may be sports or other things. And so part of being able to reach a very large segment of our young population is to make sure that when we're developing programs, that yes, we use research, we use the data, but we also go out and talk to them to find out what it is that they're interested in, and try to make sure that we create programs that fit where their needs are. And it also depends on their age. I think 13 to 16-year-olds may have different needs than 14 to 21-year-olds or something like that. So it's really about making sure that the variety is there, but also the consistency. Because one of the number one things that young people need are to have consistency in their life, and to know that they have either an organization or a place that they can go that's safe, where they can spend time, and also have it as an opportunity where they can learn and develop skills, and hopefully something that will, help them in the future.
Alia, the young people in the survey, at least, they were working as social scientists, I guess. What was that like for them as a learning experience?
Yeah, I mean, our consultant HRIA, Health Resources in Action, did an amazing job working and engaging with these young people. They learned how to analyze the surveys that they collected. They were part of the process in collecting the data for the surveys and really teaching them different tools and tricks of the trades of, data analysis and data collection and being so involved throughout the whole process. They've met, every single week they were meeting and really engaged in this whole process throughout the whole time. And HRIA was really supporting them, not really telling them what to do, but just getting their feedback and input and really helping them guide the way for the assessment.
I'd like to thank you both very much for taking the time to join us.
Thank you.
Thank you. We enjoyed the conversation.
Yep. That was Emilio Dorcely and Alia Pacombe from Urban Edge. We'll have more news in just a moment.